I have played a lot of VR over the years, and I mean a lot. And I've finally come up with a list of the top 10 most realistic VR games that I've come across. So I'm a PCVR guy. Obviously, look at my channel, I've done a lot of reviews, stuff like that. And I'm gonna give you guys my list of games that can really make your graphics card cry, or just games you can test out your headset with that have really high fidelity and some just amazing graphics. I'm MartydudeVR, and most of the games on this list are going to be PC only, but there are some that are on Quest and I think PSVR too, so I'll definitely let you know. Before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Go to VRrock.com, get some prescription lenses for your MetaQuest, PSVR 2, Valve Index, Bigscreen Beyond, whatever headset you're rocking, even a Pimax. You can get VRrock prescription lenses, and they are quite literally the best because they're affordable, easy shipping times, and honestly, they're great. They've been my sponsor of this channel since I had like 500 subs, and they have not let me down one time. Use the code on the screen to get 10% off your order. Help me help you save some money, man. All right, guys, the first game on our list is quite literally the quintessential PCVR game, and it's probably the reason a lot of us play PCVR to this day. And we're talking about Half-Life Alyx. So Half-Life Alyx is the game that came out with the Valve Index. So this is literally and to some people, this is the peak of VR in terms of immersion, realism, and just graphics. And to be honest with you, the way Half-Life Alyx has aged over the years is kind of like fine wine. Now, some of the gameplay aspects haven't aged too great, but in terms of a full experience and just really testing out your headset and really seeing damn near the peak of VR graphics, is up there. And as somebody who's played the game a few times, it's genuinely really fun, and anybody that has a PC needs to play Half-Life Alyx. It's like a requirement. I don't make the rules. In this game, you play as Alyx, as you might have guessed, and you gotta fight back against the mysterious alien race called the Combine. So this takes place, I think, 5 years before Half-Life 2, and honestly, as somebody who never really played the Half-Life series, this game definitely confused me at first, but I'm gonna go back. I still haven't been back to play the other Half-Life game because they also are in VR. So if you're on PCVR, you can play Half-Life 1 and 2 in VR. But even as somebody who's not really in tune with the series, the story was actually pretty decent. I actually enjoy getting from chapter to chapter to kind of discover what the Combine is and kind of what's going on. And obviously we're waiting for a sequel or something from Valve, and hopefully we see that with the Valve Decker whenever it drops in 2030. But hopefully we can get a continuation of the story one day. Our second game is one that has burned a lot of graphics cards and has pushed a lot of VR headsets to the absolute limit. And this is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Now there is 2020, but I haven't played 2020, I haven't played 2024. So I can only speak about 2024. And I must say that this game has pushed my rig to the absolute limit. We probably won't be able to get 90 frames at Ultra in a Microsoft Flight Sim game, probably until the 70 series comes out for NVIDIA. But overall though, this is quite literally one of the most beautiful games I have ever seen. And it's funny because it's literally just Earth. The views you see while playing Microsoft Flight Sim are just nice, like especially when the graphics are right, when you got the frame rate right, you got a nice high resolution headset like a Pimax Super, or Play for Dream MR or anything like that. You can really see details when flying through clouds and just flying over cities, flying over the ocean. And I even got a flight stick to play this game because I felt like you really need it to get the full experience. And mind you, there are a bunch of flight sims on PC, but I genuinely feel like Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is one of the most realistic ones. Definitely top 2. What's also nice is that you can get this game on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you can literally just boot it up from there. And there's a bunch of guides online on how to get it to run in VR. It's really simple. But I will say though, downloading on Steam makes the download a lot smaller because you get to stream the textures and stuff like that. But overall though, if you have a decent, beefy PC, you have to try Flight Sim at least once or twice and see if you like it. Our third game is actually a bundle of 3 games that exist on the Oculus Rift store. Guys, we're talking about Lone Echo 1 and 2, Stormland, and Asgard's Wrath 1. Now, most people don't realize, because most people got into VR in the past like 2 or 3 years, around 2022, 2021, the Oculus Rift store actually has very, and I mean very high graphic VR game. For instance, Lone Echo is one of the most critically acclaimed VR games because it has a really good story and it has crazy graphics. And it kind of sucks because that Meta kind of took a step back from the PCVR space because they really made some heat when they were dropping games. And honestly, it's so crazy because people don't realize that Insomniac Games, yes, the people that made Spider-Man and are making Wolverine, they made a VR game back in 2019 called Stormland. Now, Stormland is one of the most beautiful games that I have laid my eyeballs on. And I hate that we're never getting another one because obviously Insomniac is working with Sony and blah, blah, a whole lot of stuff. And it quite literally is just a beautiful game. And it's actually really fun. And a lot of the mechanics you see in that game, you see a lot of games after it took note. In Stormland, you play this little robot guy and he basically explores these ancient civilizations. So you got to uncover different secrets. There's gliding, gunplay, and climbing, and honestly just a bunch of mechanics that are quite literally insane for a 2019 VR game. Like, it's kind of mind-boggling all the stuff that they did on that late budget. And going from games like that to Horizon Worlds is kind of crazy. And the last game on the Oculus Store that's high graphic that's worth mentioning is Asgard's Wrath 1. Now, a lot of you guys probably have Quest 3s, Quest 3Ss, and that came with Asgard's Wrath 2. Now, Asgard's Wrath 2 looks really great on mobile, and honestly, it looks really good on mobile, not gonna lie. But Asgard's Wrath 1, oh man, totally different. Like realistic water, realistic character models, weapons, a lot of great lighting. And it's crazy because in this game, you play as a fallen god. You possess different characters, do different puzzles, and honestly, it's just a really fun, really solid, and a pretty long VR experience. I've heard people say they wanted longer RPGs in the VR space, and Asgard's Wrath 1 is quite literally it. It's the whole package. And hopefully if more people buy those games on the Oculus Rift store, hopefully one day we can actually get more actual PC VR games from Meta. Money talks. All right, so the fourth game on our list is Red Matter 1 and 2. Now, this is one of my favorite space games to play in VR. Now, I'm not gonna spoil the story because it's so good. You need to experience it. But basically, to give you kind of like a broad overview, this is set in a dystopian sci-fi Cold War universe. So you do actually play as a Russian dude, and it's honestly a great premise for a space game. Now, this game isn't really combat oriented or anything like that. It's really puzzle heavy, really atmospheric, and very immersive. Red Matter definitely is one of the most beautiful games I have seen, especially for being set in space, because some of the environments you see from a distance really remind me of like, it's Destiny level set pieces for space. And if you ever played Destiny, you know they have some of the best space scenes in gaming. And what's really amazing about Red Matter 1 and 2, that they achieve very high graphics, even on MetaQuest standalone, PSVR 2, and PC. So this game is actually on all platforms. And as you can see from the B-roll behind me, this game really does deserve to be in more conversations when it comes to graphical fidelity, because they are doing something that a lot of other studios just aren't doing. And I will be honest, this game did give me a run for my money because some of these puzzles take a lot of brain power. So if you are not very puzzle friendly, then I would say maybe avoid this one. But if you like a good puzzle, go ahead. Now, our fifth game is actually a UEVR mod. So Ace Combat 7 is UEVR compatible, and boy, it is gorgeous. Like, this game is really pretty and even rivals Microsoft Flight Sim in terms of just beauty. Now, I will say you might need a decent PC to run this because it's gonna take some power, but once you get it up and running, get it in a decent resolution headset, it's kind of unbeatable by a lot of the jet center flight sims out there. And if you don't know what UEVR is, it's the Unreal Engine VR injector mod. You basically can turn any Unreal Engine game into a VR game. And there also is plenty of tutorials online on how to set it up or how to get this game in particular working. But boy, this game, gorgeous. Highly recommend, especially if you like doing dogfights and jets and stuff like that. While I didn't record much B-roll on me playing it myself, I did have a lot of hours just playing this. The lighting is great. The planes are very high detail. The clouds look amazing. And it really is a beautiful VR game, even though it wasn't intended for VR. Our sixth game is one I don't see getting mentioned enough, especially in these type of lists. And it's Assetto Corsa VR. Now, Assetto Corsa does have a lot of mods for it and has a huge modding scene. But man, once you get the right mods installed, like Pure and all that other stuff, you can literally get this game looking almost photorealistic. Now, it does take a beefy PC to run high resolution with certain mods, but once you get it dialed in, even for like a Quest 3 or Quest 2, it looks amazing. Especially when you get the rain mods installed, the weather's right, the lighting's good. You can literally tune everything in this game. You just gotta figure out how to do it. As I've recently grown a bigger sim community on this channel, I definitely want to make sure I put something like this in here for my people who like racing sims. If you like racing sims, don't mind a little bit of modding, Assetto Corsa is quite literally one of the most beautiful racing games you can play right now. There's tons of servers online where you can do drifting, JDM, just like a bunch of other stuff. And even racing like in between cars on the highway is like really cool. And it's really funny because I quite literally have like 300 gigs of like cars and stuff on a drive that I have to sift through every time I want to reinstall this game. But I do it because it's genuinely a fun time, and especially if you get friends involved. Overall though, I do have Assetto Corsa VR literally being my #1 racing sim because it's just that good. Our 7th game is Hubris. Now, Hubris blew my mind the first time I played it because it almost looks too real. And it's funny because I'm saying that while we were doing this list. This game is like uncomfortably realistic. Like it's one of the most beautiful VR games to ever touch VR, hands down. And they do something that a lot of VR games do not get right, and that is water. They get water physics really down packed, and everything looks hyper realistic in this game. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the gameplay loop, and I honestly feel like it could have been better, but I do want to say that it quite literally will blow your mind and probably your graphics card. And to give a quick summary, in Hubris, you basically crash on an alien planet and you got to figure it out from there. Story is okay. I mean, it's not really a memorable story, but it's just really good eye candy. It's some pretty fun gameplay moments here and there. And it does climbing really well. And the action adventure part of this game is done phenomenally. I gotta give it to them. But if you're looking for something that's gonna quite literally melt your eyeballs from realism, this is available on PSVR 2 and PC. All right, our 8th game is probably gonna be a surprise to some of y'all, but Skyrim VR Modded. Don't leave out those mods, you're gonna need them. Now, I played Magtube Overhaul for Skyrim VR, and I had an absolute blast. Now, I did play it on a VR treadmill, and it honestly hit. This is such a great game modded. What I like about Magtube Overhaul mod pack for this game is that you can literally change the graphics to be very, and I mean very realistic, or you can dumb them down to get more frames, stuff like that, or choose a more of like stylized look. And me being somebody who had a 4090 and I have a 5090, I choose the highest graphics because you can really push the boundaries of basically Bethesda's engine with the mod pack. And one of my peers, VR Dad, actually has a lot of videos going over how to set up Skyrim VR because it's a process, I'm not gonna lie. He has the best explanations. Check him out because he's a good dude. But overall though, Skyrim VR is just a different level of experience because it quite literally has the most immersion of some of the VR games I played. With all the mods, everything is interactable. You can interact with items laying around, the different characters, and there's an AI speech mod that lets you actually talk to the NPCs. There's also two-handed combat, spells, dragons. You literally can do everything in Skyrim VR. And if you have a VR treadmill or anything like that, I would highly recommend playing this on a VR treadmill. I also made a video on that too. If you want to go check that out, it was actually a really good video. YouTube screwed me over, but it's okay. But to sum it up, the installation process is not that long and not that complicated. And you honestly get a great return on investment because Skyrim is a very long game. So if you're looking for a bang for your buck and you want the top of graphics when it comes to fidelity, come on over. Our 9th game is gonna be a surprise to a lot of you, and it's actually Minecraft. Minecraft VR is so underrated for so many reasons, and I feel like more people should play it so I can have more mod packs. Now, the homegirl Genghis VR, y'all go follow her. She's big in the PCVR modded community, and she made a mod pack for Minecraft VR that looks photorealistic. Now, obviously you need a beefy PC to bump the graphics and stuff like that, But there's also mod packs that you can get that are horror based. And I love some good Minecraft horror. And you can even throw shader packs on there to make it look really good. Back when the Minecraft movie first came out, I did a lot of streams on Minecraft VR, got some million view clips, and it quite literally is one of the most fun experiences I've had playing VR. And it's also really dope because using Vivecraft, I have a tutorial on how to set up Vivecraft. So you wanna know how to set up Minecraft VR? Check out my channel. There's a way you can play Minecraft VR with non-VR players and everybody can have a good experience. Now, one thing that does frustrate me, and I wish a lot of you guys would get on it because I don't want to do it, please make some more mod packs for Minecraft VR so we can have varied experiences. I would love, and I mean, I would totally appreciate something like the Feed the Beast mod packs or even the All the Mod 6, 7, in VR. That would be amazing. If somebody can make that happen, please let me know. I would definitely play test that for you. But overall though, Minecraft is just always fun, even base, but playing it in VR with high resolution graphics totally changes the game. And now, last but definitely not least, in terms of graphics, is Cyberpunk VR. Now, I've done multiple videos of Cyberpunk VR, how to set it up, how cool it is, and it's goddamn amazing. Like, this is one of the best VR experiences to have. Now, one thing I gotta tell you, because people always ask me, is there motion controls? No, you gotta use a controller, but to me, that does not disrupt the experience whatsoever. It's quite literally impossible to make this have motion controls because of the way the animations work and stuff like that in the game. Cyberpunk VR is probably one of my top 10 favorite overall VR gaming experience. I love Cyberpunk, the world, the characters, Panam, shout out Panam for Supremacy, if you know, you know. And it's the overall environment of Night City is unmatched by any other VR game. Now, while the barrier of entry is high, like I said, if you have like a Quest 3 and probably like a 50 series or even a high 40 series, you can get some good frames while playing the game. If you never played Cyberpunk and your first time playing it is in VR, you're really in for a treat. In terms of just an urban open world environment, there's nothing else in the VR community as of right now that can give you the same experience as walking, driving, or even flying around Night City. Now, the mod does cost some money because you gotta buy Luke Ross's Patreon, which is kind of lame to me, to be honest with you. But it is what it is if you want to play. Luke, I've sent you a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. You got a lot of money from me. A lot of money. And honestly, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be mad, but this is a paid mod. And with all the updates that this game has received over the years, and even the DLC, which is also playable in VR, you have a probably 50 to maybe 100-hour experience waiting on you. So yeah, Cyberpunk VR is a 10 out of 10, especially in graphics and gameplay. All right, guys, that is 10 games that will melt your PC with their realistic graphics. Now, I try to make my list a little bit different than other people, so let me know how you guys like this list compared to my peers. But it's me with MartydudeVR, and we have a lot of reviews and stuff coming up on the channel. Pimax Dream Air, yeah. Got something coming for that. I'm actually gonna be reviewing some VR gloves. Got some Gunstocks coming in. We have content to make. So make sure you guys pay attention to the channel. Check out my reviews I put out over the past few months. This is MartydudeVR. And remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.